Well, let's fast forward to 1994 is when you got in the contest to become Canton City Auditor, correct?
Correct.
And what was the circumstance of a vacancy?
Mr. Mallon passed away. He was the city auditor. He passed away. I was still at Republic Steel. The precinct committeemen met Thursday night, Hall of Fame week, downtown Canton, and it was in City Council chambers. You couldn't pick a worse spot at a worse time to try to get everybody downtown to have a vote. So that's where they picked. That's where they had the meeting.
Who was chairman at that time?
Roy Gutierrez.
Okay.
They had the meeting then, and there was 44 people showed up. So there was probably 7-8 people running at the time. When it got down to the final two, it was a 22 to 22 vote. I believe it's 22, or we didn't finish voting. But someone came in. He had oxygen. He was carrying oxygen. He had to park like 3 blocks away. It took him like 20 minutes to get up to City Hall to come in. He walked in. I remember Warren Bertram was on Don Casser's team at the time, and Warren says Manny Taveras was his name. Manny came in. He says, "Let's let Manny vote." And everybody on my team looked to say, "Do you want to let?" "Yeah, you're precinct committee. You're representing the party. Let's let everybody vote." I ended up winning that vote by 23-22 vote. And I know that the newspaper at the time had pictures of Don and his wife. They already had their story written. They were gone when the final vote came, and they were looking for me, but I was nowhere to be found at that time. So
was the wisdom going in that was it Cassar was?
Oh yeah, I mean everybody was pretty much sure that that's who had that race at the time, and it's I don't know how anything works. I know that I took the time to go visit everybody. I talked to everybody. I was with Manny Taveras the night before. Peel Coleman and I went out and visited Manny, and we talked to him. And I kind of had the feeling from talking with Manny that he was going to support me.
Okay. So Kim Perez becomes Canton City Auditor.
Mm-hmm.
And were there any changes, or it was just get an acquainted time when you took office?
Oh, no, I don't sit quietly for a very long time. I walk in, I observe, and then that's when the steel mills were switching over to computers. I was a supervisor. I had to switch over to computers. I know what the fight was because I was one of the ones that put up the fight. I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. But, they said they put the computer on your desk and they say, "Listen, you explain to your guys why they're not getting paid if you don't put their time in this computer and break out." So, something used to take me an hour and 10, 15 minutes ended up taking me 10 minutes to do a day. And it was from that moment on that I just married technology because, I was one of the naysayers. And when that technology hit and I saw how quick things changed and how more efficient it became, I brought those type of beliefs into the auditor's office. We were still doing ledgers. So we didn't have spreadsheets. We were still running dump terminals. So in 1994, we started looking at upgrading. We got spreadsheets. We got PCs. We changed so much in that day. I went through the Y2K. We bought new software, brought a new fiscal system in, new payroll system. We combined the payroll departments. There was 2 of them in the city of Canton at the time. There was one in HR and there was one in the city. We combined those. We ended up saving jobs that way. With the technology and combining of the jobs and stuff, we ended up through attrition and everything being able to lower our costs to save the taxpayers money and be able to do what we needed to do to become more modern. And we were behind in audits when I took office. We got caught up on 3 years audits. We started doing our CAFR reports. When GASB 34 and 35 came out, from going to all the classes that I attended, I learned of this. So we were the first major city in Ohio to complete GASB 34 and 35. That's where you had to actually go to your infrastructure, your water lines, your sewer lines and everything, put depreciation value and everything on it. We got it done, I think it was 1 day behind Worcester. Worcester's the only one that beat us. And they had 9 CPAs.
So you had to actually go on site and look at
we had to work with the water department, sewer department, and everybody, and then evaluate our buildings. We had to put a depreciation schedule to it. We had to look at our water lines and depreciation schedule to that. So when Wall Street looked at our value of our water system or value of our sewer system or value of anything, they could look how long it was in there, what's depreciation value, and exactly what the value of that system was worth, which then helped us on improve our rating agency remarks. And we did a lot to really bring the city up into the new century and new technology.
Now, do you remember the exact date you became auditor?
It was in August, Hall of Fame week
of 1994.
Yep.